Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the Week 15 waiver wire episode. I got my dogs with me here, MFB, and BBTB.
Wow.
And I'm your host, Keem. And hopefully you don't need any of these players for your playoff run.
Mm-hmm.
But in the event that you do, hopefully we got you guys covered. Let's go ahead and get you guys started off with the only quarterback that would possibly be worth picking up if you're in the playoffs and you don't have one somehow, or you just don't like your quarterback if you have CJ Stroud. Jameis Winston, man, playing against Kansas City, rostered in 34% of leagues. And Jameis Winston's just going out there and having fun, just slinging it. So he's probably the only QB worth picking up and starting if you don't have another option. But
that's probably the best. That's probably the best explanation. Homies is just there to have fun, turn up, have a good time.
Real talk. They're mathematically eliminated, but he gonna go out there for the Lord, throw the ball for the Lord. You feel me?
Yeah, it's You're if you're starting him in your fantasy playoffs and you win, props to you, man. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for QB. We don't really have anyone else. There's no buys this week, so it's pretty straightforward. Wide receiver, Jalen McMillan, the rookie on Tampa Bay, scored 2 touchdowns this week. Rostered in only 5% of leagues. I mean, you probably won't use him for your fantasy playoffs, right? Maybe in a deeper league. But if you have the spot on your roster, you could at least block someone else from using them against you in case someone else needs them. Not worth a waiver pickup or a waiver claim. Just someone to look out for. If you're that injured at wide receiver, I don't know how you made it to the fantasy playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. That does it for wide receiver. We just have Jalen McMillan. We're not, I mean, well, because there's not really that many good options for a lot of these positions. We're just throwing out only relevant names. There's other names that we could talk about and get into, but I mean,
it's pretty much for the playoffs. You know, if you're in the playoffs, you should not be picking up these kind of guys.
For the playoffs, yeah, there's not that many players to really go over that really are going to make or break your fantasy or your playoff run. So let's move on to the RB waiver wire pickups. At the very top is Patrick Taylor, rostered in 5% of leagues, San Francisco running back. No McCaffrey, no Jordan Mason. Guerrero got injured. Fourth stringer, Patrick Taylor. Pending what the seriousness is of Guerrero's injury, he could be slotted in as the starting running back. So, worth an ad.
Yeah. If Guerrero's out, you could flex him 100%. But don't put him in the flex position because he plays on Thursday night. Put him out like the RB2 if Guerrero's out. More than likely Guerrero's out because 3 days away from the game. But, yeah.
Yeah. Keep an eye out, guys. Keep an eye out for his, reports Tuesday morning. And see what it is for Guerrero. Likely he will be sitting out this game. If not, Patrick Taylor may not be worth a pickup.
Mm-hmm.
But at worst case scenario, you block someone else from having him because you may be playing against a guy that is thin at RB, and if you have a higher waiver claim, just pick him up so that your opponent can't have him. It's just it's called playing defense.
Yes, sir. Yep. Definitely.
Next on the list, Sean Tucker. Bucky's having health issues. He got injured last game. So he should slot in behind Rachaad White on that Tampa Bay running back room.
Yeah, and he could also be used as a stash, handcuff, or block an opponent. So probably a decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Rachaad White gets injured. Then you got Rachaad White, no Bucky. Sean Tucker had one very good game against the Saints this year. Only rostered in 2% of leagues. I don't think I'm using a waiver claim on Sean Tucker.
No, not even close.
Good. We're in agreement. last on the list, Isaiah Davis, rostered in 11% of leagues, who stepped up with no Brees Hall.
Yeah, kind of random. Kind of called him out, but not on the podcast. Someone needed a running back, and I said, "Yo, go pick up Isaiah Davis," and it somehow worked. So, if Brees Hall doesn't play, they play a horrible Jacksonville defense. Isaiah Davis could be a very good start next week.
I think both are pretty talented backs. I want to guess they kind of shut down Brees Hall. Unfortunately, if you're a Brees owner, but we'll see. You have to keep up with reports.
Yeah.
But Braylon Allen had 11 rushes. Isaiah Davis had 10. Braylon Allen had 5 targets. Isaiah Davis had 6 targets.
Mm-hmm.
Braylon ran 22 routes and Davis ran 20 routes. Braylon only played 1 more snap than him. So kind of also profiling the same. Maybe they just kind of keep splitting them in case Brees just doesn't play for the rest of the season.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely matchup based for these guys. And we'll talk about them probably in the preview episode if we cover that, the RB backfield there over in Jets. That does it for the RB pickups. Are you guys looking towards Ty Johnson after that touchdown he scored for the Bills?
No.
Are you thinking about him?
Not really, no.
Yeah. Okay. Just brought his name up just for funsies. On to the tight end pick up. Only one. Grant Calcaterra for the Eagles. I would be looking not to play Grant Calcaterra. Jalen Hurts has not needed to throw the ball. They're playing a tough Pittsburgh defense. I mean, if you have Eagles players, you're probably hoping that Pittsburgh comes up and starts, putting the pressure on them and scoring so that they have to throw the ball and they have to get the offense moving. But this is more of a desperation pickup. You're starting Kyle Pitts and you need something. I still wouldn't pick up Grant Calcaterra and play him. It's a very risky tight end start. But you never know. You could be blocking someone else that needs a tight end. So check who your opponents are or who your opponent is for this week in the finals. And if they need a tight end and they're desperate at tight end, then maybe you block them, pick up Grant Calcaterra, don't give them any options. Or you big brain it and leave him on the waivers and let your opponent pick him up and then get him a straight donut. So that's up to you to figure out. But yeah, that about does it for tight ends. Any other names you guys want to throw in?
I was going to say Zach Ertz. He's only 44% rostered. So if somehow he's not rostered and you have like a whatever tight end and you want the boomer bust kind of tight end, I think Zach Ertz could be a fire option because Saints don't have a quarterback. Washington defense would smack the Saints. A lot of 3 and outs. Washington gets the ball a lot. So a lot of chances for Zach Ertz. So kind of something to think about.
Okay. Yeah. Solid call out.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to call out Chig, but Will Levis got injured. So he has got a fire matchup schedule in the playoffs, but yeah, he doesn't do anything on that offense and that offense doesn't really move. The only one that would be worth picking up is Zach Ertz if he's still on waivers. Probably the best bet there. Moving on to some defenses, guys. Arizona plays New England. Arizona's roster in 36% of leagues. Hopefully you guys already picked up a defense in preparation for the playoffs. If not, pay attention. We got Washington Commanders versus the Saints with likely no Derek Carr. Do we know the extent of his injury?
Yeah.
Fractured hand, I believe.
Several weeks gone. He's done for the season, basically.
Okay. Yeah. So target Saints, when you're playing, find the defenses that are playing against the Saints. Washington's rostered in 24% of leagues. Pick them up. Probably the top pickup this week.
Yep.
New York Jets are up against Jacksonville. 43% rostered. Solid pickup. And Jacksonville's, running Mac Jones out there, so it could do well. Yep. Last but not least, Dallas Cowboys are playing against Panthers. This is probably my least favorite
Yeah. It's the deepest one. Try to give you an option. Should be a close game. I think MLB was telling us off the podcast that it's supposed to be a very close game. I think.
It's the Vegas is projecting to be a close game, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The Panthers have stepped it up, man. So I could see them putting some points up against Dallas. How do you guys rank the defenses? In which order would you pick them up?
Washington 1, Arizona 2, Jets 3, Dallas 4.
I'm in the same boat.
I would say, man, Washington 1. I got Jets at 2 probably, and
Okay.
Arizona, Dallas.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, so very close. Whichever of these guys, these top 3 that you can get one of them. Hopefully that they can win you or help you win your weeks in the playoffs. That's it for defenses. Moving on to some kickers. We got Cade York against Tennessee. They have a pretty good red zone defense, right? Forcing people to kick.
Tennessee,
yeah.
I think so. I think Cade York plays really well against the kicker. Let me make sure. I'm not too sure if he's going to still be the kicker next week, because Cade York was the kicker for Cincinnati, and they literally activated him, I think, a little bit before the Monday night game, which is actually funny enough.
Yeah.
So if it's still him, obviously him, but if not, pick the other Bengals kicker, whoever's starting.
Yeah, McPherson, or whoever the Bengals kicker is.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Ryland, the Arizona Cardinals kicker against New England, rostered in 7% of leagues. Anders Carlson of the New York Jets against the Jacksonville Jaguars, rostered in 4% of leagues. We mentioned in the other episode about the Jets, Devontae Adams and crew are probably just going to go out there and have fun since they're mathematically eliminated. Don't expect them to fight for a win, but they'll go out there and just do their thing. And against the soft Jacksonville defense, they should go out there and score a bunch of points and get a bunch of field goals. So, yeah, I like that. Those are some solid pickups. That about does it. Do you guys have anything else you want to go over?
No, chilling. Absolutely tired.
That's it. Yeah, there's not much, guys. I mean, I don't think a lot of these people are going to win you your weeks per se. I mean, realistically, yeah, there's not many of these players are going to go out there and the difference maker might be the defenses. So try and get one of these defenses that are, not that heavily rostered. And, hopefully you get lucky. But that'll do it for the waiver wire episode, guys. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.